Well, let me ask you this. In terms of the most polarizing player in the draft at this point, is it fair to say that's Mac Jones?
Yeah, it is. Because, he doesn't wow you with athletic ability, although, we have seen quarterbacks that have gone on and done great things without that. So it's not paramount, but I just think the way the game is played right now, that you better be able to get a harm's way when these coordinators are sending, these max blitzes at you. And all they want to do is just get the ball out of your hands as quickly as possible before you just get slaughtered. So I would say so. I mean, if he goes with the third pick to San Francisco, where I believe it's going to happen, I mean, that fan base is – they're not – they're going to erupt. There's going to be a backlash the way it was for Donovan McNabb in Philadelphia in 1999, I believe.
I think you're 100% right. On Sports Talk Radio in the Bay Area, Baldy, all they're talking about is how on earth can we trade 2 firsts and a third-round pick to move up to a guy that looks like Tom Glavine with his shirt off? And hey, by the way, and the reason I use that as an example, Baldy, is because I was in that old Braves locker room and you see Smoltz and Glavine. And I remember being a young reporter and seeing those dudes in the locker room with their shirt off. I'm like, those guys look like my dad. I mean, they're not athletic at all. They're Hall of Famers. I mean, right? If you can spin it, you can spin it. And why does it matter what Mac Jones looks like with his shirt off? Who cares?
Yeah, I mean, look, the first time I saw Peyton Manning in the locker room, I thought, who has the key to a sunken chest? But nobody's going to argue with what Peyton Manning did, in his career. So it doesn't go hand in hand. We have all seen players that that look the part and can't play. So that really has nothing to do with it. The guy just went 13 games wire to wire like nobody we've ever seen. I've never seen anybody, Dan, ever at any level, high school, college, pro, complete 77% of their passes. Now you can say that it's Alabama, it's an NFL roster, all that stuff is true. He still threw with anticipation, accuracy. They still blitzed him. He still made the throws. He's got great mechanics. So. I trust Kyle Shanahan to be able to locate the right guy. I just believed all along that when he made the trade back in March, Dan, he knew exactly who he was going to get. I never believed, and I still don't believe, that it was some sort of competition. They just traded the 3, and they were going to wait and see which of the 3 that they really liked. I think he knew who he wanted to get.
No, 100%. And that 77% completion percentage is astronomical. I mean, it's nobody's ever done that in college football, to your point. But I will say this. There are 2 others that have completed over 75% of their passes. One is Joe Burrow, and the other is Colt McCoy, right? So you kind of have a mixed bag there in terms of what that means on the next level. And the other concern, you mentioned it, he has 4 receivers that will have gone in the top 15 picks when it's all said and done. I don't know that anybody's ever had that kind of talent to throw to. So certainly that makes guys look a little better, Baldy. But if you're Kyle, and I'm the same way. I trust Kyle. I've known him for a long time since he was in Washington. There's nobody better in the business when it comes to picking quarterbacks, in my mind, than Kyle Shanahan. But if you're there, based on what you've seen in the tape study that you've looked at, are you taking Mac Jones at 3?
I wouldn't. I mean, I thought that Justin Fields is the second best quarterback in this draft. And, if you looked at Ohio State against Clemson in the semifinals this year, and I know you did, I mean, Justin Fields outplayed Trevor Lawrence. I mean, you can't get a better game than what Justin Fields did against Clemson. But then, people will pick up, a Northwestern game and where he wasn't very good. But then I'll show you a Nebraska game where the ball hit the ground one time the whole day. I just think Justin Fields is supremely talented. And I just think that it's just the beginning for any of these guys. There still has to be another step. And so the next step, to me, for Justin Fields is just to do it on a very consistent basis. But you're not going to find a more talented player in this draft than Justin Fields. So I'm not arguing with Kyle. He can put whoever he wants into his offense. And he has that right. John Lynch said it the other day. It's up to Kyle. It's his decision. It should be his decision.
Right.
He's going to coach him every day. But to me, Justin Fields is the runaway player to be the second best quarterback in this draft.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.